I will remember having received them from you. Would you kindly give an expression of appreciation to the ladies for the flowers that I have received? May I please thank Dr. Sheikh for such a wonderful introduction and for being with UPNA. And I know that we have a good many members of UPNA here. If you're with UPNA, would you stand so that I may identify you, please? UPNA representation, please stand. Oh, let's give them a hand, please. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge a couple of additional people, but before I do this, I must tell you that I have had many fundraisers. This is the very first one where we've had special banners printed just for the event. Rarely do you see this type of expertise and this type of flair exhibited at a fundraiser. So let's give all of the persons who worked to put this together a big expression of appreciation. Thank you very much for it. Dr. Kadir is not here, but in his absence, I think it appropriate for us to acknowledge the work that he has done to help us put this event together. As you know, he works across the length and breadth of our community. This is not his first opportunity to work with an event, and I'm grateful that he was able to work with a couple of my friends to do this. And in his absence, let's give Dr. Kadir an expression of appreciation. He is a friend who has served me not only as a member of City Council, but as a personal counselor to me. So City Council person, personal counsel to me, and I am honored to ask that he stand for his many years of service here in Houston. The Honorable M.J. Khan, give him a special expression of appreciation, City Council person. And my hope and my guess is that while he is not on City Council now, this will not be his final opportunity to hold public trust. While he was on City Council, the city prospered, our district prospered, and I would dare say that he had an impact on the entire region. It's a wonderful thing to have someone on council who understands not only how the council functions, but also how to work with people across all of the various lines. And Houston has many, many lines. In the 9th Congressional District, the ballot is printed in 4 languages. In the 9th Congressional District, we speak over 80 different languages. So it's a wonderful thing to have someone who can cross all of these lines. And again, I'm going to acknowledge the Honorable M.J. Khan and thank him for service rendered and service yet to be rendered. One more time for my friend, please. Thank you. I want to acknowledge again the Honorable Muhammad Sheikh for his service and for his eloquence for his always being available to our community. There is a wonderful thing when people make themselves available. Dr. King gave us a statement similar to the one that was called to our attention. And since this is the month of his birth, let me just quote Dr. King. He indicated that the truest measure of a person is not where the person stands in times of comfort and convenience, but rather where does a person stand in times of great challenge and great controversy. And I'm honored to tell you that my friend Muhammad Sheikh, in times of challenge and controversy, always stands with our community. Would you give him an expression of appreciation too? And there are many other persons, so let me just ask that all of the persons who are part of the host committee, if you would stand, because without your attendance, without your help, without your time, without your energy, we would not have this event tonight. And I'm going to ask all members of the host committee, kindly stand please, and if you'll give all of the members of the host committee an expression of appreciation and love. Thank you. Strong strategies was mentioned. One of the highlights of my congressional career was to meet and to form a relationship with Pat Strong. Strong Strategies is a great name, but Pat Strong is the strength behind Strong Strategies. And if you know Pat, you know that if you don't want something done, you don't ask her to do it. If you ask her to do it, she starts immediately, and she will get it done. So I'm going to ask Pat and all of the members of Strong Strategies to stand, and I'm going to ask Isma. Please notice Isma in the back of the room. Isma has helped with this event, and she is a very, very competent, capable, qualified person. We want you to give them all some love. Please, you would. When the request was made that the president visit Pakistan, I do agree that the president was in the region, and I assure you that your acknowledgement of the president and your desire to have the president visit Pakistan is not going to go unnoticed. I assure you that I will encourage that we do all that we can to have a presidential visit to the state of Pakistan, and I want to thank you for calling it to my attention. Let us acknowledge that Pakistan's relationship with us to the United States is important for a multiplicity of reasons. One reason that is most prominent and often discussed is Pakistan is a nuclear power. The United States is a nuclear power, and all nuclear powers should have a relationship with each other. We want to make sure that we maintain a relationship with a member of the nuclear power fraternity, if you will. But there are other reasons for wanting to have good relations with Pakistan. Pakistan is a key member of the region that it happens to be located in geographically. And it means a lot to us to have a relationship with Pakistan in this region. Pakistan is right next to Afghanistan, right next to India. It is important that in this neighborhood, all of the neighbors work with us, and we of course want to maintain a good working relationship with Pakistan, which is one of the reasons why whenever there is some crisis in Pakistan, I and members of Congress, we try to respond immediately. The earthquake was mentioned, which was horrific. The total number of deaths is just unimaginable that one force of nature could do such a thing. And the total number injured, more than 70,000 deaths, the total number of injured, nearly 70,000 people, just a whole huge number of people either hurt or died. And it was important for us to do all that we could to not only help those who were in Pakistan, and I was honored to go there to be of help, but also to help those who were here in this country who were not in a position to return to Pakistan when the circumstances were so dire, which is why we did offer the TPS legislation to help persons maintain their position here in this country until Pakistan could get back on its feet. Very important legislation, and I'm proud to have authored and been a part of this great piece of legislation to help the people of Pakistan. But one of the things that I want to focus on is letting you know how important my relationship is not only to Pakistan, but also to the Pakistani community in the diaspora. because by working with the people in the diaspora, I get a better understanding of what the needs are. It's one thing to hear it from an analyst, another thing to read about it in the news or to see it on the television. But the most important thing is to hear from the people themselves who are in constant communication with people who are in Pakistan, the members of the diaspora who are communicating, the members of the diaspora who have intimate knowledge of what's going on, which is one of the reasons why this event is so important tonight. It affords me an opportunity to talk to those of you who have first-hand intelligence about what's happening in Pakistan, so that I can propose a means by which we can foster legislation, foster better lines of communication, and do those things that will help us have a hands-on experience with helping you make Pakistan the better partnership that we need with the United States of America. So tonight I will look forward to visiting with you. I will look forward to having you share your thoughts with me one-on-one about things that are happening in Pakistan. I want to see more students from Pakistan come to the United States and have an opportunity to receive educations in the United States. My guess is a good many of you went to school somewhere in the United States. So just by show of hands, if you attended a university in the United States, would you please just raise your hand? And if you look around the room, look at the number of hands that are up. Thank you. Let's give the persons who came here and who have attended schools here an expression of appreciation. And I'm saying this to you because you know firsthand how important these relationships are by virtue of the exchange of information, the cultural exchange that takes place. So I want to encourage more of this. I believe that we should have a community that I can work with, and we can develop some sort of exchange program that is specific to this community in the 9th Congressional District. So those of you who are willing to work to help us foster these kinds of relationships, I think we should do this. And finally, I will share this with you, and then I'm going to let you share some thoughts with me, but I want you to know this. I'm standing here before you tonight because the Pakistani community stood with me more than 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago, when I was known as the judge of a justice court, the Pakistani community stood with me. And that was a time when you could have stood with other people, but you chose to stand with me. You stood with me not only with contributions to the campaign, which were always important. You can never, and I will never underestimate or not give proper credit to contributions to the campaign, which is one of the reasons I'm here tonight, to ask you for your help and support of the campaign. But I want you to know that it was more important at that time, or equally as important, to have your names associated with the campaign and to have the ability to get into and through the community. And that was done because there were people who took my hand and introduced me to other members of the community. It meant a lot to me to have people say, I want you to meet my friend Al Green, because I was not known to the Pakistani community. I was known to some members of the community, but not to the community at large. So it meant a lot for you to allow your credibility to be associated with the effort that we had at that time. Not only did you do it in the Pakistani community, but the Pakistani community has connectivity across the Houston community. As a result, I met persons in other members of the huge diaspora that we have here in Houston, Texas. People across other lines because of the connections that you had. And as a result of all of this hard work and the contributions that were made, I was elected to Congress in 2004. I was sworn in 2005, and I have had the honor of serving in Congress for 10 years now, going into my 11th year, my 6th term in Congress. And all of these years, I have still enjoyed the friendship of the Pakistani community. And I promise you that I will honor and respect the community and work hard for you. One of the reasons I am working so hard is because you have claimed me as one of your own. Many times I am introduced as the first Pakistani in Congress by virtue of the way this community has embraced me. So I'm not just another elected official. You have embraced me as a brother, as a friend, and as someone that you trust to take your message to the Congress of the United States of America. So thank you for your many years of support, your many years of trust, and for the contributions that you will make so generously tonight to our campaign. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'm going to now relinquish the podium because I will talk to each of you individually. I look forward to doing this, and I beg that we all know that I will not leave tonight until every person that wants to have a personal conversation with me, until every person has had an opportunity to have that conversation. So I'm here for the duration, however long that takes. I was supposed to do something else, and I have canceled, well, postponed that engagement so that I could continue this engagement with you tonight. Thank you very much. And Pat, if you'll bring me my bag, I would like to make this presentation. And I'm also going to do something that I was not prepared to do, but I'm going to do. And you'll understand why I say not prepared in just a moment. As you know, President Obama is the first person of color to occupy the White House, the very first. My hope is that he will not be the last. And my hope is that in my lifetime, I will see additional changes. He is a person of African ancestry, and he occupies the White House. There is nothing written any place in the world. There is nothing that has been codified that says we cannot have a person of Pakistani ancestry in the White House. There's nothing that says we can't do it. My hope is that I will live to see this happen. And I will tell you that I never thought I would live to see an African American as President of the United States of America. And regardless as to how anyone feels about him as a person, his being there is paving the way for others to get there, and for that we ought to give him an expression of appreciation. The Honorable Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States of America. Show him some love, please, for the way he will pave for others who are yet to come. He is obviously a part of the avant-garde. And to this end, if you might claim your seats, I want to assure you that what I'm about to do for two persons who are here tonight, I'm going to do for every person who is here tonight. Know that you will receive a similar expression of appreciation. What is the expression? The expression is a pen that I hold in my hand, and I have two of them, and these pens bear something that I think will be historic as in the years to come. Many of you see me at the State of the Union, and you know that I'm right there to shake the President's hand. What you don't know is that I get there at 7:30 a.m. to be there for his appearance sometime around 8 or after. 7:30 a.m. And you would say, why in the world would you do it? Because it's history. It is history. I am a person who was never projected or predicted to be in that room. He is a person that no one living thought would ever be in that room. And for him to walk into that room and for me to be there to shake his hand is a preeminent privilege. And so I'm always going to try to be there to shake his hand, and I always do something else. I get his signature. I have collected his signature from each of his State of the Union addresses. And by the way, there are a lot of people who want those signatures, but I still have them. I'm holding those signatures. I think they are going to be very important for our archives. And I have those signatures. His signature means something to me, which is why I'm going to present tonight to my friends, all of you will receive them, but 2 will receive them tonight. Pens that bear the signature of the Honorable Barack Obama, 44th President of the United States of America. So I'm going to ask my friends M.J. Khan and Muhammad Sheikh to please come forward so that I may give to you these pens that will be symbolic of what others are to receive. And I would love to have a paparazzi take a picture as I present these pens.